Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with your newest RomanceLandia for the month of September. We're here. We're here! We made it, y'all. We made it. Nobody got raptured. Unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know what way to go with that one. I was raised a heathen, so I have no idea. Let's dive right into the happenings of the month of September. These are in no particular order necessarily, because I just wrote my notes from my Discord thread and was like, okay, we're here. We do have big bingo news though. Big bingo news, y'all. So first things first, I just want to give a quick FYI to everyone. I think we've discussed this previously, but just a reminder to be careful about your Mastercards and PayPals and some Visas. I think Visa rolled it back some, but we saw this happening in game spaces more, where they were limiting and closing down accounts for inappropriate purchases as they deemed it. They're censoring what you can buy. Literally, that's what they're doing. They're censoring what you can buy. They're canceling people's accounts for selling or purchasing things that are too adult, and that they've termed as adult content. So FYI, and also, and just so you know, in case you run into this issue, or if you feel compelled to actually write to them, I'll put some links down below. You can contact the card providers you have to let them know you're not okay with this. And the reason I bring it up is, like, as romance readers, we are adjacent to the situation, and it's very much a thing where I think we could see other things happening here pretty quickly, and it like traveling through into our space at some point. So that's a quick FYI. Now let's talk about Colby Wilkens. You may recall that Colby Wilkens was basically called out last year for a lack of proof of her Indigenous identity. Specifically, I do believe it was Cherokee she was claiming. Lots of different opinions on what happened there. She did apologize. Her second book got canceled, but now she has a new book coming, and it's If I Go Down With This Ship. According to people who were in a Discord with her, was written with an Indigenous character originally and has been swapped to a non-Indigenous character, but also we keep getting things with the serial numbers barely filed off, and I'm sorry, this cover is so blatant in it being Our Flag Means Death inspired or fic or something. I'm just deeply, you know, like, can we please stop? As somebody who loves the fic to publication pipeline, I do. I really do love it. It's one of my favorite things. We are dancing too close to the sun. It is getting egregious. But yeah, this is just an FYI that she has a new book coming out. Then we have another fun one. Jamie McGuire crawled out of the depths of hell, I guess, in some capacity, and is attending an event called the Tennessee HEA Book Festival, which is in East Tennessee. I think it's out in Gatlinburg, Sevierville, somewhere over there in the mountains. And she is charging people to take pictures with her. I've been to a lot of book events. I have never had a book event charge for a photo with an author. And I've never had a book event, like, do that. And her justification is it's a con, it's not an event. Which, like, I have gone to cons. I have met celebrities at cons. I've done the whole rigmarole of, like, the celebrity photo thing at cons. I've done it. I know how it works. What do you mean? You think the Tennessee HEA Book Festival is the place to charge people for photos? But yeah, she says make sure you bring cash. And I mostly bring this up because I am side-eyeing this event for having Jamie McGuire, to be honest with you. It tells me everything I need to know. If you don't know about Jamie McGuire, the beautiful disaster author, I cannot recommend you looking her up enough, because that it's a can of worms. And it just doesn't stop. Then we also had the long-awaited, it feels like, RomanceCon happened last weekend. I actually was at Villains and Vixens when RomanceCon happened in Milwaukee, and I have to tell you, I am unsurprised and very happy with my choices in life. So RomanceCon had a wildly disappointing swag bag. I'll throw a picture up of it here. It literally had like a sticker sheet, and that's it. Like, it was nothing. And then the event hosted by the bookstore Well Read Damsel that just opened was fantastic, apparently, and everyone had a blast. And with that event and everyone having a blast, they're doing it again next year. So we don't even need RomanceCon anymore. So that's really exciting. I'm glad that they were able to take such a awful event situation and turn it into something good for all these people visiting Milwaukee to go to RomanceCon, and then obviously being completely devastated because things took such a big downturn. So that was kind of wild to see. I didn't see a ton of videos of people who went. I just saw the swag bags and I was like, yeah, this is about what I expected. I almost did RomanceCon, y'all. There was a moment, but I couldn't resist Villains and Vixens being not far from my parents' house, which meant I didn't have to pay for lodging. But yeah, they'll be doing it again next year in September. I'll throw the dates up on the screen. I'm really excited for them and excited to see this grow, because there's nothing better than something good coming out of a terrible, terrible situation. Okay, now we gotta talk about Santana, Knox, and Amy Oliveira. A situation happened literally 2+ years ago now, 2023-ish, where Amy Oliveira and Santana Knox released a book with a Irish female, like an Irish character and a Mexican character, and one of them was like getting sex trafficked, I believed, and some of these other things, and basically Mexican readers very quickly called out issues with this book. Amy and Santana's reactions and responses to the criticism were not good. As someone outside the community, they were not good. I was like, whoa, this is not the way to do this. And some of the excuses used on Santana's part were around her autism. So there's that. And because of that, a lot of people have said no thank you to their books anymore. Santana does have a traditional release coming out for one of her books soon, but now 3 years later, these two authors have actually come forward and apologized twice. So the first apology kind of got taken down and reposted because they adjusted it because it wasn't appropriate, we'll say. They also didn't monitor the comments enough to make sure only people in the Mexican community were responding and accepting the apology, because it's not our place, right? If you're not part of that community to accept these apologies. So they reworked it, reposted it. I'll put it up here. And then they opened up an indie scholarship to sponsor a Mexican author for editing and some things. So I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and read you their apology so you can hear it. Here is the updated apology from Santana. I made a post yesterday addressing No Place for Devils, but I failed to properly apologize for the harm I caused the Mexican community. I'm so sorry this is so late. The Mexican community deserved this apology 2 years ago. First, I'm sorry for the harmful Mexican stereotypes I perpetuated in No Place for Devils, as well as the hurtful and offensive remarks. Being Latin does not excuse me from being able to cause this harm, and I'm so deeply sorry that I did. I am also sorry for the way I handled it afterwards by removing the main character's Mexican identity from the book. This was another huge mistake where I ultimately erased part of the main character's identity and said it wasn't important to the story, and I deeply regret that. Mexican identity is absolutely important, and I'm very sorry for making the community feel otherwise. I'm also sorry for the way I handled the entire situation when a reader brought concerns to my attention. I was dismissive, defensive, and treated them poorly, and it was not deserved. I also wanted to acknowledge my unpublishing of the book and apologize for handling that incorrectly as well. My intention for doing so was not to draw more attention to the book so people didn't rush to buy it, but I realized I should have unpublished first and then made a proper announcement afterwards addressing it. I'm sorry for how I handled this and also making it seem like I was trying to quietly make it go away. When I was called out for my handling of the situation, I tried to explain why I was slower to understand the gravity of my actions, which made it seem like I was using my autism as an excuse. While it was not my intention, it doesn't change that it made the community feel like I was giving myself a pass, and I'm deeply sorry for that too. I want to make clear my autism does not excuse any of my behavior or actions, nor does my Latin identity. I understand that other Latin readers were also hurt as a result of my actions, and I want to give my deepest apologies to all Latin readers and the community as well. Lastly, once a year I fund a scholarship for indie authors to have their manuscript fully edited. This year I'll be funding an editing scholarship for a Mexican indie author, published or unpublished. I know my harm cannot be undone, but I would love to help a Mexican author have their voice heard. So I think this was, like, compared to the first apology, a much improvement. And then I would say that Amy Oliveira's apology was also very similar in vein. Same tone, similar, near identical apology, to be honest, which is fine. Again, not mine or other people's place to accept if you're not part of the Mexican community. I do appreciate her acknowledging the autism part. I was deeply concerned initially with some of it. But yeah, I just wanted to share the update because I did cover the initial happenings in 2023 with this one. So it's kind of fascinating. I'm really intrigued to see what some of the people hurt say at the end of the day. So far, most of the readers that were attacked during this initial time have not really said much beyond they're not going to read their books because there's still bad blood there. And that is absolutely fair. So I'm personally taking my cues from them, and that's how I'm handling it, but you can do what you will, obviously. Okay, another thing is the Fabled book box thing that has been having scandal after scandal, it has officially like closed their doors. And a bunch of authors came out saying like, we were never even paid for these special editions. Never paid. No notice, just shut their website down. And then I think they reopened it to sell whatever they had as remainders. And people are like, don't buy this. So that's just wild. Another company bites the dust. Next we have absolute AI slop rage bait, okay? And I know that when I saw this, I was like, there's no way this isn't an AI author and this isn't rage bait. But, so this person, Fiona Day, someone made this author, made this AI page on TikTok and some other places where it's like, what happens when an ICE agent falls for the undocumented woman? And again, I feel like this is rage bait. And the profile looks like an AI bot. But I just need to note, what the fuck? Are we really at the point where we need AI crafted rage bait? Like, I don't know, y'all. I'm so thrown by it. But it also feels like somebody who like wanted to write this but did not want to put their face behind it in any capacity potentially. Because like, they knew what would be said to them. On that note, let's talk. We're going to talk around something, okay? And I need y'all to respect what I'm talking around in the comments and understand why I'm talking around this the way that I am. There has been a huge uptick in authors canceling events through the end of 2025 and into 2026 for some. Authors like Emily Rath, H.G. Carlton, Kate King, C.M. Nacosta I think is pulling back even. Like, a lot of authors are pulling back from being as public and out in the open as they were. And we have seen this happening for a minute now. I don't feel like this is news or new. We have seen a lot of authors reeling back their public appearances. So I think we can piece together why this is happening if you're aware of things that happened this month. If you can't piece it together, get on Threads or any social site, and honestly, you should be able to figure it out pretty quickly. I'm not going to talk about that situation. But I just want to say, like, I'm really mortified, to be honest with you, at the response people are having to authors and just other people in general right now. And when we no longer get author events like we do currently, and we no longer get to see our favorite authors and talk to them or have as much access, this is why. Like, these situations are why. There's so many authors I've like given up or like unhauled in my life that I was just like, I'm not reading them anymore. And the books just leave my collection. I don't go up to them at events and harass them. I don't do any of that. I don't send, this is the other thing that's happening, I don't send air tags to their P.O. boxes or in fan mail in an attempt to find out where they live. Because some people are doing that apparently. And that is wild to me. That is absolutely wild to me that some people are doing that and think that's okay. But they are. So I'm making note, double check if your faves are going to be at events that you're attending the rest of the year, because a lot of them have dropped. And rightfully so, because they no longer feel safe to go because of how readers are treating them. And I just continue to be truly just astounded. I don't know. I don't understand some of this. To me, my brain does not compute some of the actions people are taking. I'm not going to be surprised if in the next year and a half, 2 years, we see the death of a lot of events because authors don't want to come out of their homes. And I don't blame them. I really don't. So yeah, don't be surprised if an author you really love is not attending an event you're going to. Like I said, be sure to check. Send the ones you love extra love, because this is just honestly horrific at this point. All right, now we have to talk about two things that tie together. Oh my God. These two items kind of tie together. First of all, we have to talk about Bad Woman Reads special editions. They released a special edition of Wolf by Paisley Hope. Here's a picture of the special edition that they released the other day. It is Latin Heritage Month, we will note. And that is a Day of the Dead Girl art on the sprayed edge. Neither of these characters are in any capacity Mexican. And apparently our hero has a tattoo with the Day of the Dead Girl on him. Whole other conversation. This is like a book by a white author. Bad Woman books Bad Woman Reads or whatever, didn't have the best response in my opinion. Their apology post was basically, well, the author signed off on it. Okay. The author signed off. Okay. Interesting. Interesting that's your excuse. But they pulled it. They're redesigning it or something. It was just weird. It was a weird response. It was a weird call out. But it ties in because the wolf cover is designed by a cover artist who allegedly may be using AI, and that is where all this ties in. And that cover artist is Whiskey Ginger Goods. There was a call out post on Threads recently, like in the last 48 hours. I'm filming this on Thursday. This goes up on Sunday, like in the last 24 hours actually. So you might have seen some fake posts and been like, what is going on? I have answers. Whiskey Ginger Goods is a cover artist. They made a bunch of these covers, and another cover artist has brought up concerns for AI usage. Some of the concerns I'm like on, because like another artist was talking about like similar, like using reference images stuff. But some of the close-ups on the Whiskey Ginger Goods covers do raise some concerns for anyone slightly familiar with AI art. There are things like melting/vanishing belt buckles and belt loops, shirts that button in different directions. So like the shirt is open to the right on the top and then to the left on the bottom of the shirt. Just kind of funky things that generally speaking a regular artist wouldn't do. So I don't know what is going on there. But Whiskey Ginger Goods did post a statement that I'm going to read you. And this is their statement. It's just me. I don't usually engage with the online noise, but this isn't for me. It's for the authors I work with. They don't deserve harassment. Every piece I create comes from the decades of practice in illustration, photography, and love for this craft. I'm not here to cut anyone down. I'm here to build my art, my community, and the authors and artists I'm lucky to work alongside. I'm also strongly anti-theft in art. My own work has been stolen countless times, and I know firsthand how painful that is. That's why I'm committed to creating original work with care and intention every time. Someone said my work looks devoid of emotion. Honestly, I think that's fair. My portfolio often does feel stoic to me. Emotion is something I wrestle with conveying, and I feel vulnerable about that. But that's not new. My catalog of pinups aren't smiling, and I rarely ask my live subjects to. If the men sometimes look similar, it's because I'm still newer to drawing them, and truthfully, the real human man I often use as a reference is kind of a grump. It's a vibe. I'm always learning, always building. That's the point. So please know, there's a human behind every line, a human who labored, studied, obsessed, cried, and lost sleep over their work, a human who is thankful for your love and here to bring light and support to the creative community. Nowhere in her apology does she directly say, besides I'm against theft, that she's not using AI. So someone asked, and I feel comfortable using their screenshot because they literally posted a TikTok about this. They were like, do you use AI in your process at any point? Do you have any time lapse or illustration proofs? And they said, I do not use AI. That was their response. It's just, I do not use AI. But it took multiple people in the comments directly asking them, do you use AI, to get a response. I personally, these covers, I don't love them. To me, if these are actually like were hand painted and not iPad illustrations, they would probably be really fantastic and cool. And some of the blur and some of that on them would make a lot of sense, in my opinion, but these are not that. Obviously, as I say this and I showed you those covers, don't go attacking the authors. This is nothing on them. You can't always know. You cannot always know that someone isn't lying to you when they say they don't use AI. Yeah, I don't think we need to go attack the authors for it. And also, I think we need to note that this cover designer charges exorbitant prices. And listen, I believe art and artists and creatives should get paid what they're worth, okay? And I'm not saying her covers aren't worth that, but if an author forked out over $2,000 on an illustrated cover, they can't necessarily go fork out more cash on a new illustrated cover, you know? That's not always the case. And because of that, we have to be mindful in our approach. I'm probably not going to read these books until they're recovered. I probably wasn't going to read them anyways, but I'm just saying, we have to be cautious in this approach. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to link, I'll have the screenshots up here for a minute for you so you can kind of see some of the call outs.
Oh
I'm not sharing the original poster because they've deleted stuff and basically been harassed away because people just could not handle it, I guess. Again, this is alleged AI use. We have no proof. This is going to be the hard part as we move forward with AI, is it's going to be really, really hard to have hard proof unless people are posting their full process videos as they make art and different things. On that note, let's talk about some fun stuff, and then we'll talk about my bingo board. We did get some photos on set from people we meet on vacation. So that came out from Variety, I think. I don't know, one of the magazines. I'll post a little screenshot here. So that's fun. And then another LC Silver series is getting a TV show, Chestnut Springs. So that's exciting. I believe Rose Hill is the other one that got picked up. I don't know the LC Silver series names, but both of these have now been picked up. And then the other really cool thing is the After the End Kickstarter ended at over $1.2 million. It is like one of the top funded publishing Kickstarters for 2025. Wild. I'm really, really excited to get my books, ebooks and audios in October, November. And I'm really excited to read them and have them in my hands in the summertime. So yeah, I'm really pumped and excited for how well this went for them, and to see such support for a really cool dystopian romance series. On that note, let's talk about bingo real quick. This is a quick one. First things first, ... Deserve Love, the AI slop, I think that gave us that. Easy peasy. Someone wants to write a nice agent romance, so we've got that. Then we have Freydis Moon, again, gives us another full square. Shocking, I know, Freydis Moon has reappeared again in Latin Heritage Month. Shocking. So Freydis Moon has a new release coming out this month that is Romance, and people are not thrilled, obviously, because of course it's being released this month with their faked identity and all that good jazz. So Freydis Moon has reappeared briefly. You know, I had a minute where I thought I might not get that second checkbox, but here we are. And then we did get our reader upset. Not in the way I thought we would, and I say this with love, but there was literally a author who is basically profiting off of queer stories, who does not support them in the real world, and that's wild, but not surprising, because I think it reinforces a lot of feelings a lot of us have about certain segments of the male author group space. Certain hesitations some of us may have. I personally have, at least, and am very cautious in how I move in this space because of it. But y'all, we have an up-down bingo. We almost have 2 diagonals. We have 2 across bingos. If Emily Henry loses the Goodreads Choice Awards this year, y'all, I will literally have like another bingo. I don't think the Coho movie's getting canceled, unfortunately. I don't think that worked in my favor. I just need a cheating scandal or a race faker, a book talk versus booksta thing, which I think is coming again as we have some hearings and news about the TikTok stuff. But yeah, I cannot believe how full this board is. 1, 2, 3. I only have 6 squares left. That's wild. And I again, 2 of them I don't think will be filled, which is Onyx Storm and Coho. I don't know if Onyx Storm was bad. I didn't see enough people complaining about it to judge. So that's wild. That's just wild. I think I know too much sometimes. But yeah, that's this month's RomanceLandia. It's a quieter month, but a messy month still, nonetheless. A lot of small little items to talk about. I would love to know if you think I missed anything. If you don't do any of that, leave me fall leaf emojis, because I am like very falled out today. You can't really tell because the camera, listen, we're gonna hope this works when I edit. The camera's in a funky spot. I don't know what I think of it, but I'm in like a fall rusty colored top and my like waffle knit top, and I'm so cozy and I love it, and I'm just pretending it's not 70 some degrees outside. This is what we do here sometimes. We just pretend it's not that hot out. So, which like 77 is not terrible, but you know what I mean. I'm pretending it's like 59, you know? I wish it was like 60 degrees out. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Anyways, I will have links to everything I can link to for you down below, and links to my friend anywhere on the internet that I am, as well as links to join my members if you are interested in things like early access to RomanceLandia. That's down there, and other content. I will be back to talk to y'all in just a few days in my next video. Bye!
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. We'll get away. This is what we waited for.